this slide is a overview of my presentation. The topics which I'm going to touch during the delivery of my presentation. So, the firstly, we'll try to understand what is discipline, and then move forward and we'll talk about the approach of integration of knowledge, and in which we'll see these different approaches. So let's move to the next slide. So, and here we'll try to understand what is discipline. So discipline, which we are talking here, is being referred in the context of academics. We shouldn't get confused with school discipline. Actually, here disciplines means a branch of learning or knowledge. John Walton states that by discipline, I mean a body of subject matter made of concept, fact, and theories so ordered that it can be deliberately and systematically taught. According to him, a discipline is a body of subject matter that is teachable. So I think uh, now it is clear what actually discipline stands for. So now let's move to the next slides and try to understand the approach of integration of knowledge. Now, interaction between different disciplines has become the norms of the day. In fact, there cannot be a further progress without interaction between different disciplines. And this is the reason we have seen the growth of new disciplines such as biotechnology and astrophysics. Let's take an example of astrophysics. When you study astrophysics, you need to have a knowledge of physics, mathematics, and at some level, the chemistry as well. Because when you study about the sun surface where nuclear reaction take place, like fusion, you need to understand. You need to have a proper knowledge of chemistry as well. So, understanding of astrophysics, you need to have a knowledge of different disciplines. So, so now let's move to the next slide. Approach of integration of knowledge, and these are the basically these are the five approach of integration of knowledge. The first one is interdisciplinary approach. The second one is multidisciplinary approach, cross-disciplinary approach, interdisciplinary approach, and transdisciplinary approach. So in the next upcoming slide, we'll see some of these approaches in brief. So let's move to the next slides and talk about these approaches. Multidisciplinary approach. It is basically uh, looking at one problem by adding multiple perspective and disciplines. In this process, a root discipline may involve other disciplines to solve a problem. Here, participants exchange knowledge and compare results. Why in the multidisciplinary approach allows a subject to borrow concept and techniques from the other subject. So why we should use a multidisciplinary approach? As we know that the real world situations are very complex and require knowledge of several subjects. Multidisciplinary approach encourages the learners to apply their existing and the new acquired knowledge in more practical and hand-on ways. Suppose you are studying about something like Russian Soviet collapse. So, for the clear understanding of that topic, you need to have a clear understanding of different the countries which after the collapse of Soviet Union formed. The reason behind to understand the reason behind the collapse, you need to understand the cultural differences. You need to understand the history of the Soviet Union. You need to understand the language barriers that was coming into their unity. So, I think now it is very much clear about what multidisciplinary approach actually stand for. So let's move to the next slide. Cross-disciplinary approach. It is basically the intersecting knowledge from two or more disciplines, viewing one discipline from the perspective of another. For example, researchers' collaboration with the goal of transforming knowledge from one discipline to another is the best example of a cross-disciplinary approach. Understanding the complex dynamic of environmental problem in sociological context is a typical cross-disciplinary approach. So now let's move to the next slide and try to understand another disciplinary approach, which is a transdisciplinary approach. Here, the word trans, which is a Latin word, which means across, over, and beyond. So, the transdisciplinary approach means states the emergence of the new discipline transcending the boundaries of disciplinary perspective. Transdisciplinarity combines interdisciplinarity with a participatory approach. The researcher, the research paradigm involves non-academic participants as equal participants in the process to reach a common goal, usually a solution to a problem of society at large. So that's all for my presentation. Thank you.